Good morning, students. Okay, yesterday we were discussing specific resistance or resistivity. Okay, we have done the factors affecting the resistance of a conductor. Okay, the factors affecting the resistance of a conductor are, the first one is nature of the material, different materials, different resistances. The second one is length. More the length, more is the resistance. That is, it is directly proportional to the length of the conductor. Then the third is cross-sectional area, inversely proportional to the cross-sectional area. More the cross-sectional area, less will be the resistance. And the last one is the temperature. More the temperature, the resistance of a conductor increases. Okay, if the temperature increases, the resistance of a conductor also increases. Okay, but if the material is the same, okay, that is for a particular material, for a particular wire, and the temperature is also constant, then resistance is directly proportional to the length and inversely proportional to the cross-sectional area. Equating it, the constant of proportionality here is represented by a Greek symbol which is called as rho, rho L upon A. So this rho is called as the resistivity of the conductor. So from here, rho is equal to R into A upon L. Okay, now in order to define resistivity, let the length of the conductor is unity means let it is equal to 1 meter and the cross-sectional area is 1 meter square. Then we see that resistivity is equal to resistance. So from here we define the resistivity. Resistivity is the resistance of a conductor whose length is unity and cross-sectional area is also unity. Or you may define it as the resistivity is the resistance of a conductor of length 1 meter and cross-sectional area 1 meter square. So resistivity is defined from this formula. First we'll write the formula. Okay, I have given the conversion yesterday only. So the answer will be to define resistivity, resistance of a conductor of unit length and unit cross-sectional area. Okay, then comes its SI unit. SI unit of resistivity is, from here, resistance has got a unit ohm, area has got a unit meter square, and the length has got a unit meter. So ohm into meter square upon meter, it becomes ohm into meter. So the SI unit of resistivity is ohm into meter. Okay, so we have discussed this much. Okay, now let's read what is given in the book, page number 207. See here, equation number 12.8 is given. Resistance directly proportional to the length. Equation 12.9 is resistance inversely proportional to the cross-sectional area. Combining these two equations, what do you get? Resistance is directly proportional to L upon A. Equating it, the constant is rho, and this rho here is called as the resistivity. So where rho is the constant of proportionality and is called as the electrical resistivity of the material of the conductor. Okay, it's also called as specific resistance. Okay, resistivity or specific resistance. Okay, the SI unit of resistivity is ohm into meter. It is a characteristic property of the material. The metals and the alloys have very low resistivity in the range 10 raised to the power minus 8 ohm meter to 10 raised to the power minus 6 ohm meter. They are good conductors of electricity. Insulators like rubber and glass have a resistivity of the order of 10 raised to the power 12 to 10 raised to the power 17 ohm into meter. Both the resistance and the resistivity of a material vary with the temperature. Okay, so here resistance we have seen that it is depending upon length, cross-sectional area, temperature, etc. Now on what factors does the resistivity depend? Resistivity is the characteristic property of the material of the conductor. Okay, that is, it is not depending upon the length, neither it is depending upon the cross-sectional area. It only depends upon the temperature and the nature of the material. Different materials, different resistivity. Okay, so resistivity depends only upon the nature of the material of the conductor. On length, it is not depending. On cross-sectional area, it's not depending. It's depending upon the nature of the material of the conductor. Different materials, different resistivity, like the resistance we have discussed. Okay, and also resistivity depends upon the temperature. With the rising temperature, resistivity of a conductor also increases. Okay, so write the next question. Okay, resistance factors on which the resistance depend. You have already written. SI unit of resistivity is written. Defining resistivity also given. Okay, write down on what factors. On what factors does the resistivity of a conductor depend? On what factors does the resistivity of a conductor depend? Okay, write its answer. Resistivity depends on first factor, nature of the material. Nature of the material. Okay, nature of the material means different materials, different resistivity. Like one table is also given over here. The materials are different and the resistivity of every material is different. So it is depending upon the nature of the material. The second is temperature. Write the second factor, temperature. Okay, here only you can write down with the rising temperature. With the rising temperature, the resistivity of a conductor increases. With the rising temperature, the resistivity of a conductor increases. So it is depending upon the nature of the material and the temperature. Different materials, different resistivity. Temperature rises, the resistivity of a conductor increases. Okay, so these are the only two factors on which the resistivity depends. Resistance depends on length and cross-sectional area. Resistivity does not depend upon length and cross-sectional area. Okay, only if we change the conducting wire, if we change the material of the conducting wire, then the resistivity will change. Okay, otherwise for a given material the resistivity is constant. Okay, so write a question based on it. Write down. If the length of a wire is doubled, if the length of a wire is doubled, okay, keeping the cross-sectional area the same, keeping the cross-sectional area the same, if the length of a wire is doubled, keeping the cross-sectional area the same, what is the effect on first part resistance, second part resistivity. First part is the resistance and the second part is resistivity. Okay, so for a given material of a wire, the length is doubled, keeping the thickness to be the same. Cross-sectional area same is, the thickness is the same. How is the resistance affected? We know that resistance is directly proportional to it. Length is doubled, so the resistance is also doubled. So resistance is doubled. Okay, but what is the effect on resistivity? Resistivity is not depending upon length and cross-sectional area. So the resistivity remains the same. Resistivity remains same. No change in the resistivity. Resistivity will be the same. So resistivity is not depending upon length and cross-sectional area. It's only depending upon those two factors, that is the nature of the material, different materials, different resistivity, and the second factor is temperature. With the rising temperature, the resistivity of a conductor increases. If there is no change in the temperature, the resistivity will be the same only. Okay, it's depending only if the temperature rises or decreases, then the resistivity of the conductor changes. Okay, now here one table is given and the resistivity of few materials are given. No need to remember all these values. Okay, if a question comes based on it, if a numerical comes, the resistivity of that material will be given in the question. Okay, no need to remember all these values. Okay, here the some substances like conductors, it is given silver, copper, aluminium, tungsten, nickel, mercury, manganese. So here you can see that their resistivity is varying from 10 raised to the power 8 to 10 raised to the power minus 6 meter. The resistivity is varying from 10 raised to the power minus 8 to 10 raised to the power minus 6 meter. Okay, whereas alloys Constantine is an alloy which is a mixture of copper and nickel. Manganese is also an alloy which is a mixture of copper, manganese and nickel. Nichrome is an alloy of nickel, chromium, manganese and iron. Okay, their resistivity. The alloys are having a resistivity of the order of 10 raised to the power minus 6 meter. Minus 6 ohm into meter. Okay, so the alloys are having a resistivity of the order of 10 raised to the power minus 6 ohm into meter, whereas conductors are having a resistivity varying from 10 raised to the power minus 8 to 10 raised to the power minus 6 meter. So here we see that the resistivity of the alloys is greater than the resistivity of the conductors of the elements. Okay, so the resistivity of alloys is greater than the resistivity of the conductors. Okay, and then insulators, few insulators are also given: glass, hard rubber, ebonite, diamond paper, dry paper. Okay, their resistivity is in the power of 10 raised to the power 10 to 10 raised to the power 17. Okay, 10 raised to the power plus 10 to 10 raised to the power 17. So their resistivity is very high. Resistivity very high, so the resistance also will be very high, and the current cannot flow through these substances, and such substances through which the current cannot easily pass, we call it as insulators. So the insulators are having very high resistivity. Okay, so here it is given. The metals and alloys have very low resistivity in the range of 10 raised to the power minus 8 ohm meter to 10 raised to the power minus 6 ohm meter. So they are good conductors of electricity. Insulators like rubber and glass have the resistivity 10 raised to the power 12 to 10 raised to the power 17 ohm meter. Both the resistance and the resistivity of a material vary with the temperature, and how it varies with the rise in temperature, their resistivity increases. Table 12.2 reveals that the resistivity of an alloy is greater than its constituent metals. So from here you can see that the resistivity of an alloy is greater than its constituent metals. Okay, like constantine is an alloy of copper and nickel. So the resistivity of constantine will be greater than that of copper and nickel. Okay, so the alloys are having a greater resistivity. For this reason, they are commonly used for heating devices. Okay, also these alloys do not oxidize readily at high temperatures. At very high temperatures, they won't burn up. They do not oxidize means they will not burn. So that is why they are used as the electrical heating devices like in electric irons, toasters, etc. Okay, so in the electric iron and the electric toasters, the alloys are commonly used as the heating elements. Why? The first reason is their resistivity is high, and the second reason is they do not burn up or they do not oxidize at very high temperatures. So for these two reasons, these alloys are used as heating elements in the devices like electric iron toasters. Tungsten is used almost extensively for the filaments of the electric bulbs, whereas copper and aluminum are generally used for electrical transmission lines. Okay, so here tungsten in the bulb, you can see there is a filament. That filament is made up of tungsten. Okay, so tungsten is used as the filaments for the electric bulbs, and for the transmission lines or for the connecting wires, which material is used? Copper and the aluminum is used because their resistance is very low. So that is why they are used as electrical transmission lines or as connecting wires. Okay, so yeah, now there are few numericals. Let's do this numericals, but before that, write down few questions. Okay, at Devantel, SI unit of resistivity. Okay, write down on what factors does the resistivity depend. On what factors does the resistivity depend? These two factors. The first factor you will write down as the nature of the material. The second is temperature. Okay, write the next question. Write the next. Write down. Why are the coils of electric toasters? Why are the coils of electric toasters and electric irons made up of alloy, rather than a pure metal? Why are the coils of electric toasters and electric irons made up of alloy rather than a pure metal? Yes, why it is made up of alloy? Because of two reasons. Write the answer. Because of two reasons. Write the first one. Resistivity of alloys is greater than the pure metal or than its constituent metal. Write down resistivity of an alloy. Resistivity of an alloy is greater than its constituent metals. Is greater than its constituent metals. Write the second reason. Okay, as the resistivity is more than its constituent metals, so what are used? Alloys are used. Why? Because they are having a greater resistivity. Write the second reason. Alloys do not oxidize. Alloys do not oxidize easily at high temperatures. Alloys do not oxidize easily at high temperatures. Okay, alloys, they do not oxidize easily at high temperatures. So because of these reasons, the heating elements, that is the coils of electric toasters and the electric irons, are made up of alloy rather than a pure metal. Write the next question. Which material is used? Which material is used for making the filament of electric bulb? Which material is used for making the filament of electric bulb? Okay, which material is used? Tungsten. Write its answer. Tungsten is used. Okay, tungsten is used for making the filament of electric bulb. Write the next question. Why copper and aluminium? Why copper and aluminium are generally used for electrical transmission lines? Are generally used for electrical transmission lines. Yes, why is it so? Because their resistance and the resistivity is very, very low. As you can see in this, the silver is having the lowest resistivity. Okay, then is copper, aluminium, but silver is very expensive, so that is why it is not used. So which materials are used? Copper and aluminium, because their resistance and resistivity is very low. So write its answer. Because they have a low resistance and low resistivity. Because they have a low resistance and a low resistivity. Okay, now let's do the questions given on page number 208. There are few solved questions. Example 12.3. How much current will an electric bulb draw from a 220 volt source if the resistance of the bulb filament is 1200 ohms? Okay, let's do these questions. Okay, page number 208. Question is 12.3. It's a solved question. A part. How much current will an electric bulb draw from a 220 volt source? So the potential difference across the terminals of the battery is given as 220 volts. So V is equal to 220 volt. If the resistance is 1200 ohms, the resistance is given as 1200 ohms, and we have to find out how much current will it draw. Okay, we know that I is equal to V upon R is equal to V upon I. So I is equal to V upon R. Substitute the values. R is V is 220 volts and the resistance is 1200 ohms. Okay, V is given in volt, resistance is given in ohms. So when you solve it, you will get the current in ampere. Okay, so here it comes out to be 0.18. When you simplify, it comes out to be 0.18 ampere. Then the B part is how much current will an electric heater coil draw from a 220 volt source if the resistance of the heater coil is 100 ohms. Exactly the same type of question. The same equation will be used. I is equal to V upon R in the B part. Again we have to find out the current. I is equal to V upon R. V here is given as 220 volt. And R is given as 100 ohm. So simplify it. What do you get? 2.2 divided by 100. So you get it as 2.2. And very necessary to write the unit. What are you finding out? Current. V is in volts, resistance in ohms. So I will get it in ampere. Then the next question, example 12.4. The potential difference between the terminals of an electric heater is 60 volt when it draws a current of 4 ampere. What current will the heater will draw if the potential difference is increased to 120 volt? See, in the first part, potential difference and the current are given for a given material. Okay, so you can find out the resistance from here. R is equal to V upon I. Now in the second part, the potential difference is changed. It is doubled. Okay, so obviously the current will change. The resistance will remain the same. Okay, resistance is the property of the conductor. If the length, cross-sectional area, everything is the same. The temperature is not changing. The material is the same. So the resistance will remain the same. So we'll find out the resistance. Now whatever be VI, the resistance will be the same. Let's do this question. Example 12.4. Okay, given that 60 volt and the current is 4 ampere. So the resistance is V upon I, 60 volt upon 4 ampere. That is, it is equal to, according to Ohm's law, you can find out 60 upon 4. 15 ohms. Okay, so the resistance is 15 ohms. Okay, now the potential difference is increased to 120 volt. Now V is made 120 volts. So what will be the change in the current? The resistance will remain the same. So again use the formula. R is equal to V upon I. That is, now maybe this time it is V dash I dash. Okay, because V and I are changed. Okay, so from here I dash will be equal to V dash upon R. Now here V dash is double. That is, now it is made 120 volts and the resistance will remain the same, 120 upon 50. Solve it. What do you get? The current will be 8 amperes. Okay, you can do it in this manner. Or if the resistance is the same, we know that V is directly proportional to I. Okay, V is directly proportional to I. V is doubled, so the current will also be doubled. This way also it could be done. Without solving, you can do that. V directly proportional to I. V doubled, so the current will also be doubled. V is doubled 60, it's made it 120 volts, so I will become double the 4 ampere is 8 ampere. Okay, or you can find out the resistance as it is done on the board. Find out the resistance. All the physical conditions are the same, so the resistance is the same. Resistance is same, V dash double, so we can find out I dash. Okay, next is example 12.5. Resistance of a metal wire of length 1 meter is 26 ohm at 20 degrees Celsius. If the diameter of the wire is 0.3 millimeter, what will be the resistivity of the metal at that temperature? Using 12.2, predict the material of the wire. Okay, so here the resistivity has to be found out. Example 12.5. Let's write what is given in the what physical quantities are given. Length is 1 meter. N is equal to 1 meter. Diameter of the wire is 0.3 millimeter. Diameter is 0.3 millimeter. You have to find out the resistivity of the material. Rho has to be determined. Okay, and the resistance is how much? 26 ohms. These are the values given and resistivity you have to determine, and the temperature is 20 degrees Celsius, which remains constant. So as there is no change in the temperature, the resistance will be the same only. Okay, you have to find out the resistivity and find out which material. We know that resistivity is equal to R into A upon L. Okay, cross-sectional area, as I said, if it is a wire, the cross-sectional area will be a circle. Okay, so what will be the cross-sectional area? Pi r square. Resistance is given, pi is given. Now, this diameter is given. So you can find out the radius. Radius will be equal to half of it, that is 0.3 upon 2. 0.3 upon 2 is 0.15 millimeter. Okay, in order to get the resistivity in ohm into meter, okay, because the length is given in meter, so the resistivity we will get it in ohm into meter. So this radius should also be in meters. How to convert? 0.15 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 meter. Millimeter into meter divided by 1000, that is 10 raised to the power minus 3 meter. Substitute all the values over here. Resistance is 26 ohm. Pi, you can take it as 22 by 7 or 3.14. Radius square. Okay, 0.15 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. Square of it upon length is 1 meter. Simplify it. You get it to be, okay, here the answer is given as, you can simplify, and the answer is 1.84 into 10 raised to the power minus 8. 1.84 into 10 raised to the power minus 8 ohm into meter. You are finding out the resistivity, so here you will write the unit of resistivity, which is ohm into meter. So simplify all this, put the values and simplify, you will get this answer. Okay, now from the table you can compare it. So here we see that which material is this? This is the resistivity of manganese. So it is, which material it is? It is manganese. Okay, one more question and few unsolved questions are given, which we'll discuss tomorrow.